Disclaimer: I'm no expert, and everything you hear in this video is simply my understanding of what's going on in the AI field right now. So please don't make financial decisions based on what you'll hear without your own due diligence. Enjoy. Do you know this guy? Sorry, I mean this one.
Right, we bought basically short 8.4 billion of credit default swaps.
His name is Michael Burry and he's an investor. Actually a very popular one. You probably know him from the movie called Big Short, when he was betting against 2008 housing market recession.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
From the financial capital of the world, the opening bell is going to ring in 5 seconds, and to be honest with you, we wish it wouldn't.
In a nutshell, he predicted this crisis and made himself profit of $100 million. Not bad, right? And here's what he just did. For the ones who don't understand what he just did, he basically just opened two big put positions against Palantir and Nvidia. Basically a bet against leading AI companies in the world. This guy is known for betting against bubbles. And firstly, you have to understand what actually bubble is. Everything you need to know about a bubble is that this is a situation where prices run way ahead of real value. It doesn't even matter what we're talking about. Either it's tulipans or internet companies in the dot-com bubble. Basically, capital starts to flooding into bullshit projects, and everybody starts to believe that this is the next revolution, and investors go to this shit and pour more and more money into something that has no real value and fundamentals beneath it. And for example, this is exactly what happened during the dot-com bubble. And eventually every bubble ends in the same way. New money slows down, prices go down as well, and the businesses are bankrupt because they had no real business model underneath it. During these shitstorms, many players die, but of course the few real ones survive, and we know them. For example, it's Google and Microsoft. So now we know what is a bubble. Let's try to understand why everybody's talking about the AI bubble. Here's my theory how everything started. Before ChatGPT, everything was already boiling. Since around 2017, big tech has already poured money into AI, but we just didn't care about it because it was some normal backend stuff for us, like for example, recommendation systems, translation algorithms, voice systems, computer vision, etc. We didn't care about it. But the public launch of ChatGPT in 2022 changed the game for common folks like me and you. We started to realize that maybe there's something more behind it. And of course, investors in big tech saw an opportunity, and for them it was basically a real-life demo how AI can be brought to end consumers. And everyone started to betting on the LLMs. And the race begins.
OpenAI leads, but here comes Meta on the outside. It's a photo finish.
Google, OpenAI, and many other companies started to creating their own large language models. Some companies use that as an opportunity to create an infrastructure around that and lock the big players into that. For example, that's what exactly Microsoft did with their Azure and OpenAI deal. They basically used their Azure as the main infrastructural component for OpenAI to run on. And that worked well. But OpenAI still struggled with the compute, and also they didn't want to be locked into this infrastructure, and strategically they made another bet. They understood that they need big, gigantic data centers to process a lot of data and create new models. So that's why exactly they started these deals with Nvidia, Oracle, and other hyperscalers. This chart shows how a small group of AI giants like Nvidia, OpenAI, Microsoft, and Oracle route chips, cache, and cloud capacity between each other, concentrating a huge share of the market's value in just a few hands. When capital and compute are this centralized, the whole ecosystem becomes dependent on a tiny number of decisions, which can amplify shocks, raise barriers for new players, and let a few firms quietly set the pace and direction of the AI industry. And of course, for Nvidia, it was the best moment when they realized that compute is now more than ever the new bottleneck of this AI growth, because there's trillions of dollars put into energy infrastructures, GPUs, just to run AI models. And of course, this what started the Nvidia mania of this AI era. And the next big moment for the AI industry became the release of ChatGPT 4, because before that ChatGPT was more of a toy. Yes, we tried to work with it, but it wasn't that good. But after the release, everyone understand. You can use it for coding, for emailing, for drafting, for writing, for many things, and it actually provide decent results. And right after that, the model zoo appears. We're talking about Claude, we're talking about Gemini, OpenAI's ChatGPT, of course, and many other models. And of course, we cannot forget about the Chinese DeepSeek or Qwen. The reasons for that are mixed and kinda obvious. For example, the geopolitical war, because AI can potentially be the greatest weapon of all time, the market share war, and of course we cannot forget about the OpenAI internal wars based on cultural disagreements and politics. Yeah, basically this is what, for example, led Daria Amadei and Ilyas Sutskever to leave OpenAI and create their own companies. I'm talking about Anthropic and Safe Superintelligence. Hyperscalers and legacy enterprises smelled the blood, and that's how they got their brilliant ideas of building the AI infrastructure. I'm talking about these big data centers projects like, for example, the XAI ones or the Stargate. Money starts to flood in, and of course VCs, governments and big players suddenly need AI strategy. Marketing is full of AI native, AGI buzzwords, and this already started to look suspicious, especially the AGI part, because all of a sudden Sam Altman starts to talking about AGI more than ever and says that they are really close to this AGI thing. I'm not going to talk into specific what is AGI, but basically this is the AI that can do everything you can do, but much better. So for the market, it looks like we're close to the biggest breakthrough in the human history. We are close to something that can do our job better than we do it. But for now, the product is far from perfect. Yes, it's good, but it cannot do the things that we can do at our level. But besides that point, new models still needs to be created. First, we haven't reached the potential yet, and the second thing is that we've already started this game, so let's finish it. With the speed of creating new models, despite the fact that everything's far away from perfect, the APIs became actually better, cheaper, and much more accessible for small players. And this is how many small players created their own AI solutions. And the market starts to be flooded with ChatGPT wrappers, AI assistants for everything, and SaaS products for the problems that nobody didn't give a shit about before. This mass adoption of this new technology, or better be said, this buzzwording around the world created this feeling of revolution is already here. And of course, nobody wants to miss it. And this actually became very interesting because this was one of these interesting moments where the new technology started to be integrated from the both parts, from the executives and from the bottom of the companies, like simple developers or support teams. But anyways, let's get back to our story. Besides all the fact that I've just presented to you, the product and the business fundamentals, which is more important, were far from perfect. And to stand out, everyone is trying to create bigger, shinier, and more complex models that will solve more tasks for regular folks like me and you. And of course, to get bigger, shinier, faster models, you'll burn more compute, more energy, and more money. And basically, Nvidia, TSMC, and all of those companies that provide infrastructure, GPUs and stuff like that, are selling shovels in a gold rush today. This wheel keeps running forward because of two things. First, investors don't want to miss the opportunity to make money on something that will revolutionize our world, how we see it today. And executives are just trying to find the excuses for insane amount of money or to inflate the budgets they have to pour into the data centers and infrastructure and make money from it as bonuses. Until recently, the economic skepticism and results of those new AI reports showed the true picture to the world. First, we gotta start with this AI jobs replacement buzz. Everyone said that AI would wipe the whole departments, but what we actually see is that some high-profile companies that went all in on AI replacing stuff had to partially walk it back and rehire people. However, what really happened is that all those big LLM giants, especially OpenAI, started leaking. What I mean by that is that APIs and ChatGPT subscriptions are already bringing billions of dollars of revenue to OpenAI, but it's nowhere near to cover the capex costs for GPU bills and data centers. Shit, even Sam Altman thinks that this all looks like a bubble. So what do you do when your model isn't printing unlimited money? Of course you expand. OpenAI already opened deals in healthcare, compliance, and even government work. Personally, if you asked me, I think they just understand that they can't make AGI in time and they somehow how to make money to cover all those bills. And that's why they're expanding and not focusing on what they said before. From the outside, it looks like their current revenue model is nowhere near the money they expected from this new technology, and they just scramble for different revenue streams to cover all those bills. One of the reasons why they stopped focusing on the AGI is apparently because the LLMs are actually not the correct architecture, or better said, LLM will never bring you to the AGI level intelligence. At least that's what one of the most brilliant minds in AI today thinks.
We are not going to get to human level AI by just scaling up LLMs. This is just not going to happen, okay?
That's your perspective.
There's no way.
This, ladies and gentlemen, was Jan LeCun. Pretty smart guy. So let's just wrap it up. In short, this indeed looks like a classical bubble structure. The tech is great, but the prices for this tech are nowhere near the real value it brings to the customers and to the market. And the clearest winners in all of these situations is, of course, the chip makers and the data infrastructure builders. But what for the rest of the market? Well, it's too soon to predict how it will play out. And this far, I don't see any magical breakthroughs in this world. But shit do I know. But even though it's hard to predict what's gonna happen, let's try and at least imagine the worst possible and the best possible outcome of today's AI bubble situation. In the bad scenario, LLMs hit a hard wall. No new architecture, no real AGI, just endless ChatGPT 5 clones with nicer UIs. Current projects stop moving horizontally and get squeezed into weird vertical niches because there's no new tech layer to unlock the real step changes. ROI is meet almost everywhere, execs quietly kill 80% of all AI initiatives, and the hype slides into the same bucket as 3D TVs and the metaverse. Governments look at their sovereign AI bills in the trillions, see no matching productivity, and start asking who sold them this dream. Public markets stop buying the story, companies cannot justify their valuations or capex, and the bubble simply bursts. In a good scenario, the money actually works and we get AGI. Humanoid robots become boring industrial equipment in factories, logistics and construction, and slowly creep into homes as something between a dishwasher and a part-time nanny. AI copilots sit in every workflow, tax, medicine, code, design, logistics, education, you name it. And GDP growth goes higher. Some jobs vanish, others appear, but overall people work class have more leverage and better service. In short, the best scenario is that AGI is not here, it will not be here for a longer time, and people stop buying this AI bullshit and stop pouring money into this industry. And of course the bubble bursts. In good scenario, and when I say good, I mean good for the technology and for the markets, we see AGI that will do almost everything better than us, and motherfucker, who knows what happens then. The reality will likely land somewhere between these two scenarios, but today it's really hard to predict where it's exactly gonna end. With this level of spending, we're not playing a small experiment. We're placing a civilization-scale bet on the AGI. Either we look back and say the AI wave built new layer of economy, or we admit that we just lit trillions of dollars on fire.